Hello everyone and welcome back. This is Doc at Padama, and this time we are going to discuss three research formats that are usually implemented and used during the writing of your research. So these are the following. You have the full research format, you have the action research format, and you have the Imrad format. So we will be comparing and contrasting these three formats or research format and try to identify their similarities and their differences with each other. So let's start with the first one, which is the full research format. So when we talk about full research format, this usually consists of 5 chapters. So you have chapters 1 to chapter 5. So let's start with the input of this full research format, which is usually a full research format is focused on the issues and problems relevant to the researcher, the writer, where they are directly affected. The writers are directly affected by the problem being investigated by a full research format. So basically, that is one of the focus of a full research format. And then the next one, they have personal interest and knowledge of the issue being investigated. So these are included in the characteristic of a study that you need to propose, that you should have personal knowledge and interest of the issue being investigated. Okay, so basically this is already the idea and concept behind a full research format in terms of the input. Now, for the different parts of this particular format, you have chapter 1. I'm not going to comprehensively discuss the different contents of each chapter, so I'm just going to present them to you. The title of chapter 1 will be discussing the main issue being investigated, which is entitled The Problem and Its Background. So under this chapter, you have the following parts that you need to accomplish. I have a separate video that comprehensively discuss each part for each chapter of your study or your research format. Then the next chapter is chapter 2, which is entitled RRLS, or Review of Related Literature and Studies. So this include the references, the citations that you used in order to support your argument, or that you use to prove that there is an existing problem that you are investigating in your study. So all of this will be contained in this particular chapter. The next chapter is the research design and methodology. Research design and methodology. So there is no comma there. Research design and methodology will present the method and design that you used. This includes the following. So you have a description of the parts that needs to be included in this particular chapter, including the population and sample of the study, the type of instrument that you use, the data gathering procedure, and the data processing and statistical treatment. By the way, this type of research format is applicable to quantitative research. And then chapter 4 is entitled Presentation, Analysis, and Interpretation of Data. This usually contains the tables that you analyze or statistically analyzed, and the guide for the presentation of the table should be the statement of the problem of your study. And then chapter 5 is the summary of findings, conclusions, and recommendations. So basically, this is composed of 3 parts: the findings of your study, the conclusion of your study, and the recommendation of your study. The findings of your study should again follow the format, sequence, and arrangement of your statement of the problem. So in presenting the findings of the study, make sure that the first finding is aligned with the specific problem number 1 of your study, and so on and so forth. And then the conclusions are based on the findings of the study. Recommendations are based on the findings and the conclusions of your study. Now, for this particular research format, which is the full research format, the output this part of the study presents recommendations. So, a full research format usually are recommendatory. So, this presents recommendations based on the findings of the study, which is the last part of your research paper. So, this is what we call the full research format. There are full research formats that have 4 chapters only. The reason for this is that chapter 2 is already included or synthesized in chapter 1. That's why they have 4 chapters. So chapter 3 will be chapter 2, chapter 4 will be chapter 3, and chapter 5 will be chapter 4. That's why they only have 4 chapters. So try to observe if your institution or your school uses 4 chapters. This is usually the case. Now, going to our next research format. So after going through the different parts of the full research format, try to observe the similarity between the full research format and the action research format. So basically, the chapters are the same. Okay? Chapters 1 to chapter 5 are the same. Okay? Full research and action research format. The difference will be the following. So in terms of input, an action research is focused on the issues, problems relevant to teaching and the learning process, classroom management, school operation, and organization. So again, if you're going to compare the focus of an action research to the focus of a full research, a full research format is usually personalized. Okay? Personal interest and knowledge of the issue being investigated. While in an action research, this is more focused on the problems encountered or relevant to the teaching and learning process and the following. So, action research format are usually given to teachers. Okay? So, that is why this is usually the definition that you will see when you try to look at the meaning of action research. Okay, again, so that's the input or the focus of an action research, and then chapters 1 to chapter 5 will be the same format. Again, another difference of an action research to the full research format is the output. Okay, the output of this study presents a concrete, meaning you have to include the following in your manuscript after the recommendation. Okay, so these are the following. It should present a plan, a program, an intervention, an innovation, a framework, or even a policy, depending on the level of study that you are conducting in your action research, based on the findings of the study, based on the last part of your study. So again, this output will be part of the recommendation. Immediately after the recommendation, you should present the output of your study in the following forms. Okay? So again, if you're going to compare the output to the output of an action research to the output of a full research format, this part is again recommendatory, while the output of an action research is concrete. It does not stop in the recommendations. So basically, that is how you compare and contrast an action research with a full research format. Now, an additional information is the Imrad format. So there are a lot of comments and a lot of inputs being given in our social media platform, both in YouTube and our TikTok account, that the Imrad format is the new format and the full research format is the old format. Okay, which is not the case. Okay, so these formats were created depending on the purpose where you will be using the output or the manuscript of your study. In this case, an Imrad format is prominent norm, the normal for the structure of a scientific journal. So the purpose of an Imrad format is for the publication of a study in a scientific journal. So I hope that is already clear. If you were able to conduct your study using an action research and you want to publish your study in a scientific journal, then you will have to convert your action research format into an Imrad format for it to be able to be accepted and published in that particular journal. So that is the relevance of this format to one another. Okay, you cannot publish your study using the full research format and then submit it in a journal. So that particular journal will require you to follow the IMRAD format, which basically started with the APA format, or was previously known as the APA format, or the input body conclusion format, or the IBC format. Okay? So the IMRAD format, if your study is already completed and accomplished up to the last part, then you will be including the abstract of your IMRAD format. So IMRAD stands for Introduction, Method and Design, Results, and Discussion. And then you have the following parts that should also be included in your IMRAD format. And then I have already provided descriptions of what should be contained in each part of the IMRAD format. So basically, if you're going to look at the introduction, the parts of the full research format are also incorporated. So you have the theoretical conceptual framework, which you have in your full research format. You have the discussion of the research title, the SOP, the research paradigm. Again, all of this are found in the full research format. But because in a scientific journal, there is not one but a lot of studies that are compiled and included in that particular journal. So it's a compounding of studies from different fields in one journal. So that's why they will require you to make sure that the study that you are going to submit should follow this particular format for it to be included in that journal. And this also facilitates the browsing of references, the browsing of specific parts of the study that they want to look in your research. Okay, again, another part is the method and design. So this is the description that you need to include in this part of your study. The results also mirrors and reflects the full research format. So these are the discussions that needs to be included in the results and discussion in the results part of your IMRAD format. And then the discussion, you also have the following description. So again, I have shown you and presented to you the descriptions of each part and the contents of each part. And we are not going to include a comprehensive discussion of these because I already have a video for each IMRAD, each format, including the IMRAD format in our YouTube channel. So we are going to stop here, and I hope you were able to clearly distinguish the similarities and differences of these formats. So you have the full research format, its difference and similarity with an action research format, and an IMRAD format. So again, thank you very much, everyone. And I hope this was able to add knowledge and information in your skills and in your willingness to write and learn research writing. So again, thank you very much, everyone. There will be reference and suggested videos that will appear at the side of your screen that will help you in the different parts of your research writing process. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell. Thank you, God bless, and see you on our next video. Bye!